Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Parker. I'm so glad that you've joined us here online. I'd like to begin by explaining a little bit to you about what's going on. With the COVID-19 virus and precautions that people are taking, Douglas County schools have closed through March 29th. And so we know that for the next 3 weeks, we'll be gathering here with you online. And we're pleased that you're joining us. Please come back each week and join us for our services. Watch your email or Facebook, and you'll be getting more details for our services. We're also looking at doing a midweek, either fireside chat or prayer, meditation, some sort of a spiritual upliftment for you. So look for details on that, and it will probably be on Wednesday evenings. I would also like to share with you, as we consider the fear that is in our world right now, and so many people living in fear. As a religious scientist, we need to be embracing love. We know whatever we put into our consciousness is what's going to manifest for us in our lives. And so I invite you to live from love, not from fear, especially in this trying time for many people. I have a quote I'd like to share with you from Ernest Holmes. Health starts with knowledge backed by conviction and belief. There is one life. That life is perfect. That life is my life right now. It is complete and whole. The pattern of perfection is made. We accept without reservation that it is the spiritual reality of our being. It is the only source and the only cause of every perfect action and function of our body. It alone heals and makes whole, regardless of what the condition may be. It knows what to do, how to do, and when to do it. So we trust in God. We trust in Spirit that it is our very health. We know that God is our life, our breath, our joy. And so we stay in that positive frame of mind. And I invite you to continue in that frame of mind, knowing that that's what will manifest within your life. For our services here online, we'll be sharing with you a time of meditation from one of our practitioners. We'll also be having a talk following our series for this month, and then we'll end with a prayer. Thank you again for joining us. Watch Facebook and your email for upcoming details of future services. And we're so glad that you're here with us. Let's stay connected and let's stay in love with one another. And so it is.
And now, as we go within, take a deep breath in and let go of all your cares and worries. Breathe in love and peace. And breathe out everything that does not serve you. Deep breath in. And let go of any anxieties. And now, breathing normally, imagine in your mind's eye an incredibly bright light above your crown. Open your crown and allow it to flow in. bathing your brain, soothing your senses as it moves down your throat and into your chest. You feel the love and the peace, the light and love of Spirit is infusing you with. With each breath, every blood cell is imbued with this light, is enlightened and transformed. And your heart pumps each blood cell of light all around your body. Down your arms, into your hands, throughout your torso, down your legs, and into your feet. You are absolutely filled with the love and the light of Spirit. It's who you are. And now, focusing on your heart. Remember someone that you love. Maybe it's a grandparent, a child or a grandchild, a partner, a spouse, a lover, a friend, a favorite pet. Focus on the love that you have for this very special being. And as your heart fills with love, give this love a color. Begin to spread this love all around your home, your workplace, to every being in which you have contact. Spread this love, this intense love from your heart into your community. And in your mind's eye, see it continue to spread. Spreading throughout our city, spreading throughout our state, and beyond our state to each state, every state of our great country, every state on the mainland, Alaska, Hawaii, and now all the Western Hemisphere. Spreading your great love. Spread it across the oceans, across all the islands, to the Eastern Hemisphere. Bless every being with your love. Bless all the earth with your love. For love has such great power. Love transmutes and transcends all negativities. It is the greatest power. Surround and bless all of the earth. Hold this in your consciousness right now. You have great power within you. The divine is you, and you are the divine. You are making a huge transformation in this world with your love. Know that you can do this whenever you wish. For you are powerful beyond all measure. I know this to be true for myself and for you. And with great gratitude, is now time to come back into the room, knowing that you can bless others anytime you wish. Come back into the room. Stretch, move your arms and your legs, and be here fully. And so it is.
Our talk today is going along with our theme of celebrating the divine feminine. I want to begin by sharing some history with you to frame, give you the context of what the divine feminine means. Many early religions had several gods and goddesses. In this hierarchy of gods and goddesses, there was always one that was the major god. They were given dominion, if you will, over different aspects of life or the earth. The Hebrews, when they came along, started, instead of separating the gods into the different characteristics or aspects that they were supposed to be over, so to speak, they combined them all into one God. They went with this idea of one God, but that one God had many aspects. The divine feminine is a key component here of their understanding of God, and they honored these many facets of God through their language. You may have heard the term El, E-L. That's the masculine term for God. It's often used with modifiers, such as El Shaddai, meaning God Almighty, or El Elyon, meaning the Most High God, El Hayai, meaning the living God. Then the term Eloah came along, E-L-O-A-H. Eloah is the female version of God. It means the goddesses here. So we had El and we had Eloah. The most popular term used for God in the Bible is Elohim. And you'll see this throughout the Bible. Elohim is actually the plural form of God, and it means both male and female. These were aspects of this Hebrew deity. But when the Bible was translated from Aramaic into English, all of these terms were translated into one word, which was God. So our English language kind of fails us here because we bring it all into one word and we talk about the one God. But this one God has many aspects, bringing together the different facets of the gods and goddesses of the days of old. Our society, being a patriarchal society, used the term he as an inclusive term. They also used man and mankind. Today, we try to be more inclusive, and so we look at our gender pronouns and try to change those. We also use the terms human and humankind to be more inclusive. The first week of this month, you heard our teens do their wonderful service. And in that service, they confessed that there was some reservation, if you will, about the term divine feminine. They even questioned, should we be using the gender terms, masculine and feminine, for God? They had some problems with this because our teens really see life and individuals on a more gender fluid basis. I know that challenged many of you because you came and talked to me about that. And being more gender fluid just opens us up to a greater experience here of life and of people. The reality is, God is androgynous, having both male and female aspects, energy and abilities. As light beings, we recognize and know that this androgynous part of God is also our very nature. For each one of us, regardless of, say, the genitalia we have both aspects of the male or the female. It's all combined in each and every one of us. And we get to be open to experiencing this and not living by traditional gender roles. Our English language, you see, tries to keep us in this binary mindset, male and female. And really, there's this whole continuum there that if we open ourselves to, we can have a much richer experience of life. And maybe you would not reject thinking about the divine feminine or divine masculine when you recognize that all of these characteristics are within yourself and within each one of us. Much of literature at the time that Ernest Holmes wrote the Science of Mind textbook only used binary language. And so because that was the language of the day, of course that's what Ernest used. Now we as religious scientists know that Ernest Holmes said he was open at the top. Being open at the top means that he was open to learning and changing what it was he was saying, the way he was teaching, because he knew as science progressed, as society evolved, we needed to be relevant and not hold on to old ideas that no longer served. So, being open at the top, we can consider more gender fluid ideas. We can consider the divine feminine in each and every one of us. The binary language used in Science of Mind, we see and we can recognize that for what it is. On page 82 of the textbook, Ernest Holmes says, Spirit is Father, Mother, God, because it is the principle of unity back of all things. The masculine and the feminine principles both come from the one. Spirit is all life, truth, love being, cause, and effect. It is the only power in the universe that knows itself. Spirit could know nothing outside of itself. That would be God and something else. Spirit is all, the center and the circumference of everything that exists, both manifest and unmanifest. So today, our talk title is Law as Womb. Well, I would say that's pretty gender specific, but let's play with this idea. What can it mean for us? What aspects of spirit can we explore here when we talk about law as womb? You see, law is just an aspect of spirit. Ernest Holmes talks about many aspects of spirit in the textbook. And at one point, on page 96, he says, it has been called the universal feminine, or the holy womb of nature, because it is receptive and creative. Are we all receptive and creative, open to what Spirit has for us? That's the divine feminine showing forth in each and every one of us. Ernest talked about love and law. Love being that unconditional love that God has for each and every one of us. And that's part of our very nature here. Law is the part where God gives to each and every person the same. No respecters of person. Anyone can use the law, the natural and spiritual laws, in order to bring about and manifest in their lives what they want. Law does not judge. Law is only receptive. Being receptive, what I'm talking about here is that law doesn't say, really, now that's not a very good experience. I know you're not going to like that, so I'm not giving it to you. And law doesn't say, well, that's not going to make you happy, so no. Law always says yes. Going along with the thought that it's done as we believe. So the law is always saying yes to us. Whatever we put out is what law will say yes and give back to it. When we are open and receptive, we find that we can be guided by our intuition, guided by Spirit into higher realms and higher vibrations for our life. When we have thoughts, we can impress into the law, like nature plants a fertile egg in the womb. The law receives this and then goes to work to give life to whatever that thought or belief is. We do our spiritual work by being clear on what it is we want in life. How do you want to show up? What beliefs do you hold around your life, and are they serving you well? Spirit has its own part to do, and that's the law. Spirit's part is to midwife whatever thoughts and beliefs we're putting into it. Sometimes we call it the soil of our soul. So we implant the thought or belief into the soil of our soul, and we let Spirit do the rest. Spirit will take that and create the manifestation. The plant grows as we have planted the seed into the soil, into the creative medium of our soul, our beliefs. Once we commit to doing something, then all we have to do is let Spirit bring it about to create the manifestation for us. It's the law of cause and effect. We create the cause with our thinking. So the divine feminine is not about gender, but more about receiving and giving to life. What are you receiving and giving to life? Some of you may have heard of the writer Yung Pueblo, Y-U-N-G, Pueblo. When asked, we learned that Yung Pueblo lives in New York City, is 29 years old, and originally from Guayaquil, Ecuador. Saying, I write under the name Yung Pueblo for two reasons. One, because Pueblo is a word used in my homeland for the economically impoverished masses of people, and it reminds me of my roots and where I came from. And the second reason, Yung Pueblo literally means young people, which reminds me of something that I believe wholeheartedly, that we as a people collectively need to learn to love one another. We are young in the human race. We need to learn how to care for one another, clean up after ourselves, and share. We need to learn how not to fight with one another. These are things that I'm hoping we can learn to do well in the next 100 years. They ask Yung Pueblo, what is the key to saving the world? And the answer, you. You are the key to saving the world. Heal yourself, know yourself, make yourself whole and free. Release all limits so that your love can flow unconditionally for yourself and for the world. This will open up the heaven of your heart and complete it, and it will guide you without fail. Are you willing to receive the unconditional love of Spirit for yourself and for the world? Are you willing to share that? The giving and receiving of life. And can you see yourself living in the heaven of your heart, being guided without fail? We all need to have times in our lives when we cease trying, strategizing, or planning. Those are masculine traits. We need, at sometimes in our lives, to simply know, to relax and know. This is the receptive power of the divine feminine, and it can be at work, manifesting our beliefs, our truths. So be still and know. That's the divine feminine in each and every one of us. It all starts with the breath, connecting with our intuition, creating and being present, staying open to intuitive guidance, being receptive. We don't have to go anywhere or do anything. We just need to be still, be open, and the wisdom of Spirit will come to us. It sounds to me like this is what we do, how we connect with Spirit. Breathe and let the outer distractions of the world go away. So I invite you to do that this week. Spend some time in connecting with Source, being open to that divine feminine by simply being still and knowing that that guidance of God is with you. I'll close by sharing with you thoughts from the most famous writer, unknown, called Our Dance with God. When I meditated on the word guidance, I kept seeing dance at the end of the word. I remembered that doing God's will is a lot like dancing. When two people try to lead, nothing feels quite right. The movements don't flow with the music, and everything's quite uncomfortable and jerky. I can tell you that I've experienced that, being in a relationship with Tom for 36 years. When we dance together, we get to decide who's going to lead and who's going to follow. The author goes on and says when one person relaxes and lets the other lead, both bodies begin to flow with the music. One gives gentle cues, perhaps a nudge in the back, or pressing lightly in one direction or another. It's as if the two become one body, moving beautifully. Dance takes surrender, willingness, and assertiveness from one person, while receiving gentleness and guidance from another. Then my eyes drew back to the beginning of the word guidance, and I saw G. I thought God. It's followed by you and I. So God, you and I dance. That's what I invite you to do this week, to dance with God, to be open and receptive to the leading, to the intuition, to the guidance of Spirit in your life, so that your dreams are manifested and your heart is full of life and love and joy. Let us pray. We pause and are grateful for this message and this time to connect and be together. Thank you, Spirit, for showing us that there are so many aspects to yourself, to your nature. And I know with certainty that you open each one of our hearts and minds and flow in both the masculine and the feminine. Help us, God, this week to take time to be open and receptive, to be still and know that you are the source of our very life, that you are the perfect life within each one of us. And so I speak my word of blessing on each one, that we can live in love, sharing that love and that attitude of gratitude with the world, not living in fear. For we know that you are all there is. And in you, Spirit, is perfect health, perfect life, perfect joy. I am grateful. I release my word. And we say together, and so it is. Thank you for being with us today. Watch your Facebook, watch your emails for more details of how we will continue to support you on your spiritual journey, and we support life as we live together. Blessings to you. Thank you for joining us. And because we're not meeting together physically in person, I invite you to donate online. You can click on the donate button in order to give a gift to support this spiritual center. Or if you'd like to mail in your check, we'll also share with you here the mailing address. And either way, you'll be supporting and being a part of this continued spiritual community. Thank you and bless you.